Hi, I'm Shirley Jones, and this is Gemma Wenger's Hollywood.
Academy Award nominee for The Godfather, so that's probably what you're best known for.
Boy, I'm pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, and 4-time Golden Globe Award nominee.
Yeah, I never win anything. Just like getting awards and no jobs. I'd rather get a job. They're going to give me a piece of glass.
I know.
can't eat
You eat
glass.
regular
Oh,
that way.
nice.
God bless. Thank you.
God bless you. You take care.
How about a kiss goodbye? Adios.
Hello, I'm Martin Landau.
Hi, I'm Florence Henderson, and you're watching Gemma Wenger's Hollywood.
I'm Gemma Wenger, and you're watching Gemma Wenger's Hollywood. We're here at the Hollywood Palladium at Roger Neal's Oscar party. We are on the red carpet, and there are so many exciting people that we are going to be talking to today. We're going to have exclusive interviews. We're going to talk about the great things that have been going on in Hollywood. So you stay tuned. This is Sean Kanan, formerly of The Bold and the Beautiful, but once a star, always a star. So what are you up to?
This has been really an exciting year so far. I just finished a film directed by Glenn Danzig called Dark Stories, where I had to shave my head completely bald, so it's growing in finally. And
You look great, as well as this lovely lady. What's your name?
Michelle Kanan.
Oh, wonderful.
And I have a book coming out May 14th, which is really exciting. It's called Success Factor X. And my partner Jill Lieberman and I went out to 50 people in all different fields, everyone from Mark Cuban to Tony Robbins to Run DMC, and said, what is the best advice that you have to give about success? So it's a beautiful coffee table book with organic advice from some of America's leaders, and it's going to be out nationwide May 14th.
What's some of the advice that they gave?
You know what the interesting thing is? The common denominator almost to an individual was that it's not about the material trappings and money and power and things that a lot of these people have, that it's really they think about their success in terms of how they're able to inspire other people, how to help other people, and feeling that internal sense of knowing that you're successful. And these people all come from various different walks of life, and yet they really have arrived on the same general kernel of knowledge that's what it takes. So.
How did being on The Bold and the Beautiful help you in acting, developing this book, etc.?
Well, I think I was very fortunate to work with Brad Bell, who's the executive producer and head writer. He's one of the most successful people I know.
The Bell last name is very famous.
Absolutely, and he was a tremendous example for that. Also, working on a soap opera, when you have that opportunity to work consistently, day after day after day, doing what you love, it keeps you sharp. And so for me, having been on the show off and on since 2002, it's like going to the gym. You get stronger the more you do it.
It makes you a really good actor.
Well, I do what I can.
Yes. And the best advice that you can give?
The best advice that I can give is to find your dharma, find that thing that makes your heart sing, and then follow it with reckless abandon, and don't take no for an answer.
And how has your wife been a support for you?
In more ways than I can possibly enumerate. She's my best friend. She's my everything.
What's really exciting is that, every wife wants to tell their husband what to do and give him little projects. So as a director, when I get to direct him, I'm literally playing dress up with him on camera. It's amazing. It's so fun. We're actually starting a project. I just got hired to direct, and Sean is going to star in it. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
Is there a special talent for a woman to direct a man, working with a man in business? We're different, men and women.
Yes, they are. And that's actually an amazing question because for me, I grew up with all brothers, and so I didn't really know I was a girl till I was much older. So I work really well with men because I understand that, men have an innate sense of responsibility. And when they take on something, they take it on in a way that they anticipate winning. And so as a woman, you kind of almost apologize for yourself up front in case you do something wrong. And then when something goes wrong, you go, oh gosh, but I'm a girl, I didn't know. And as a woman, not doing that is amazing. Now, I think women are getting the clue.
I think that may have been how it was years ago, but I think now that society is finally coming around and that we're seeing the equality that we should have seen for a very long time.
For sure. And I think that women are now feeling very comfortable in the workplace, and I think it's a really exciting time.
I'll let you know after she directs me.
This is Ernest Harden Jr. from White Men Can't Jump.
And what people don't know, the Jeffersons.
My favorite show.
You were a little girl when I was on.
I love that show.
Yeah, I actually did it for 4 years. I played the character Marcus Henderson, and it was great. We're holding up the fort. They're all gone now, matter of fact, except the maid, who's doing really well, Marla Gibbs, and the girl that lived upstairs. She played Jenny. Her name is Belinda Talbot. And so we're just holding up the fort because it was a classic show, and so we're just trying to keep the spirit going.
What's life been like after the Jeffersons?
Well, I did do White Man Can't Jump. I was one of the stars of it. And it was funny, when I got that movie, I told my mother that I finally made the pros. I'm playing basketball and getting paid for it. And she said, well, it's about time much as you played. I actually played at Michigan State University, but as a freshman. So played a lot of basketball, then moved on and been doing a lot of stars, guest stars, worked with Clint Eastwood, worked with a lot of different people, and we just been doing theater as well. We have a play called Velvet Jesus that we're trying to get into the Black Theater Festival. It's the National Black Theater Festival. It's the biggest one in the country. It's in North Carolina. And we also have it at a producer's whose name is Woody King. He's gonna bring it to off Broadway, and hopefully, if we're lucky, we'll be on Broadway.
So you were a child actor.
I was young. I was young. Actually, I was 20 years old when I started professionally. I went to college.
Well, at that age, to be an African American actor and to be so successful, that was amazing.
Well, you know what? I was blessed. A lot of things started happening. I went through a tough time, staying on the park bench, the whole thing. I went through the whole deal. But I got a screen test for Apocalypse Now, and that brought me out to California. And then I got a good break. I starred in a movie with Betty Davis, one of her last films. And it was called White Mama. She played my mother. Jackie Cooper directed it. And it was one of the last films she ever did. And it was a CBS television film. But we got nominated for an Emmy. And I'm the only black person, period, to ever have her as a leading lady in history. And so I think that's something I can tell my grandkids.
How did you get started in acting?
Well, I graduated with a degree in theater at Michigan State, and just went on and just hustled my butt off. Didn't know what I was doing, but once you get out there, you start meeting other young people who are doing the same thing, and I just went up the ranks.
Any dreams for the future?
Oh yeah, I always have dreams for the future. As a matter of fact, I'm up for something. I don't want to mention what it is, but it's a real big deal, and I'll be a regular on one of these shows, and I'm pretty close to it, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Any advice that you can give?
Never give up. And never give up, because you never know when it's coming. You might quit, and then yours is just around the corner. So just stay positive and just never give up. I'm spiritual, so I believe in God. I believe He has His hand on all of it. He wouldn't have taken me this far if it wasn't for a reason. That's what I believe. So
talk about His power working in your life.
it really has. and I stay true to it. The best is yet to come.
Right. So if it's not today, you're saying it's tomorrow. So don't give up before tomorrow, because the miracle's coming.
That's the only thing I can tell a young person, because I believe he sees your work, and if you're safe and he's keeping his hand on you, you will be safe, and it's going to happen. And something put it in your heart. Think about that. Why would I want to be an actor? Why would I want to go through this? Something made that. So whoever did that, I believe that's him.
What can you say to the people who have gone through so much rejection in the business?
That's the nature of the beast. Yeah, if you don't want rejection, stay home. You know, and that's if some guy came and recognized me while I was eating, and waiter, and he says, "Oh wow, could I have a tip?" I said, "Stay out of show business. If you don't want to, if you don't want rejection, if you want, because it's difficult, but when you win, there's nothing sweeter, and that's the difference."
This is the beautiful Renee Lawless from Tyler Perry's Have and Have Nots.
Yes.
Are you the have or the have not?
I'm a have. A very,
Nice.
very wealthy have. Happy. Very, very, very have.
You look very, very wealthy and very, very
I
important.
was as wealthy as my character. She has a lot more money than I do.
What was it like working with Tyler Perry? I mean, he's like the new thing.
Yes, this is a man who's worked hard, been around a long time, and just, really has brought the best and continues to do great work. Had just bought a whole new studio, and working with him is a dream. It is magical. It's been an extreme learning experience for me. He has taught me much, and he's a good mentor. He's good, someone that I would go to for advice, as well as being my director. So,
What has he taught you?
to trust myself.
I'm just glad.
There's one thing that he's taught me, that to dream big and to trust that it will happen and believe that it will happen, but to trust in yourself. Don't let someone else convince you who you are or who you are not.
Because he's achieved such a great thing.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
What obstacles have you had to overcome? And how have you overcome them?
Well, I mean, the biggest obstacle that I have, and I wouldn't call it an obstacle, I'm a theater background, seasoned theater actress, and I, on a whim, decided to put myself out there, not thinking I'd ever even get a call for the TV show. So the biggest obstacle, thinking, I've had TV experience, but not to the scale that a lot of people had before they reached my age. I'm a woman in her 50s. I'm happy to say that.
You look gorgeous.
I'll just say that. And I have a series regular on my very first television show, and that is almost unheard of in this business. So never say never, and anything can happen to you.
And you said you're a seasoned theater actress.
Yes.
Did that talent and training cross over into the series?
Absolutely, and Tyler loves theatrical trained people. He uses and enlists a lot of theatrical trained people. So he's got a tour going on now, Medea's Farewell Play Tour. He's a big, heavy into theater as well. And he likes that work ethic, he likes the training, and it works for him and his type of genre.
Who has been your greatest influence in your life?
Everybody knows. Jesus Christ.
Awesome. Tell me about
Jesus
him.
Christ, my Lord and Savior. All things have come through him. I mean, the way... It's so funny, my pastor this morning had everybody raise their hand if anyone had ever witnessed a miracle by Jesus in their life. That doesn't mean Jesus doesn't do miracles every day, but physically witness. The entire process by which I got my show was a miracle. I've had to work very hard for just about everything. Nothing has ever come easy. This particular job was probably the easiest path I had ever seen, and there's no other way that would have happened but through the Lord. And watching the entire, I remember stepping back during part of the process going, what is going on? It might as well have just seen Jesus turn water into wine. It was that prolific. And I'm always humbled, and I try to remind myself every day to not take anything I have for granted. I give my house, my clothes, my job, my car, my pet, everything that I have or want to have all came from the Lord, and I give him thanks for all of that.
So he's given you strength to live each day.
Yes, and that doesn't mean that my life is a bed of roses. That doesn't mean conflicts don't come. And there's, no slight to Garth Brooks. God answers all prayers, but sometimes he says no.
Well, that was so well said.
And all prayers get answered. It's just not always yes, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
It's not always our way, it's his way.
Exactly right. That's
God,
right.
God turns it all around for good, for our benefit.
We don't see the whole picture. And many times I've looked back on my life at things that I thought I wanted or prayed for, and I went, oh my goodness, I'm so glad that didn't happen. But God saw that it wasn't a good plan. So that doesn't mean there are a couple of things I wish had happened, but there's a plan, and it'll all come to, it'll all make sense in the end,
I think God really wants us to be patient. How have you been patient?
We're going to have you again. That's right. Thank you so much.
It's been my goal to leave, but don't worry about what tomorrow's going to bring, because he has my today. He has the tomorrow. And it's difficult to be patient, but just by trusting in him and his wish, and that's become a little more present in the past 5 to 10 years of my life than it ever has been before. I'm a typical actress. We think we're never going to work again. Every actor, I don't care if they just got an Academy Award today, we do not think we are ever going to work again. We think today is our last hurrah. And I just settle in the fact that that's not going to be. Whether it's an acting, whatever that is, God's got me. I'm not worried about it. If I worried every day about tomorrow, I wouldn't be able to get up.
This is the very famous Willard Pugh. And what has been your favorite part about acting?
My favorite part about acting is being different characters. Because you grow up as a kid, you play all, you play characters and play roles. We grew up watching Superman, The Lone Ranger and stuff. Then Sammy Davis in those old movies back in the day.
So you started very young, being an actor.
Years old, yeah.
You were acting off the charts.
Yes. 5 years old, children's theater back in Memphis for years. Came out to Hollywood and got a big break with Hill Street Blues was my first big job and got considered for an Emmy. Then Color Purple, RoboCop, Air Force One, and it's just a blessing to work in the craft that you love to work in.
It just happened for you over and over and over again. You were the one who got the part, not the one who was rejected from the part.
Oh, I got rejected a lot of times. Don't get it twisted. No, a brother got to be consistent. Just keep pushing, and don't give up. If that's what your love is and that's what you're meant to do and what you're called to do, then you got to do what it is that you love to do.
You're an excellent actor. What do you attribute that to?
Hard work, a lot of study, and some great teachers.
A lot of studies and great teachers. Talk about it.
Lucille Ewan was my first acting teacher back when I was, I think, 10 years old at the Memphis Children's Theater, and her daughter, Cookie Ewan, who ended up teaching at Rhodes College. Jacob Carroll when I was at Webster College Conservatory in St. Louis, and I graduated from the University of South Dakota. So I had great Adolph Caesar, who ended up playing my grandfather in The Color Purple, was one of my acting teachers, him and Robert Hooks. So it's just that full circle to work with those people that you once trained you. It was just great. So that's the best part for me.
Who's been your biggest cheerleader?
My biggest cheerleader, believe it or not, was my father.
Yes, you loved him.
Yeah.
He must have been an amazing man to bring that kind of emotion just when you say his name.
Yeah.
What about him made him so special?
He would never talk about me in public. He never told people that I was an actor, what I did. If I'd say I'm on television tonight or I'm doing this show, oh yeah, okay, yeah. But then he would go to his job and he'd tell everybody my son's on television. And when he passed away, I found out he was my biggest cheerleader. He had told everybody. He even went to the newspaper and tell them, my son gonna be on TV tonight. I saw it in the TV guide. Y'all should write an article. I never knew, because if I asked him, he said, nothing. Go on, it ain't important. Everybody do TV. Sidney Poitier on TV.
You and Sidney Poitier, that's a pretty good comparison.
He said, you know what? You Color Purple, all these movies, but know what you didn't do, son? I said, what? You wasn't ever on Soul Train.
Oh my goodness, Soul Train. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, but he loved you so much.
That was my number one fan.
Oh, and who was your number one influence as far as getting you where you are today, to keep you going, to support you?
I gotta say my mother, because she was always my silent partner. Even if my father didn't act like he cared, my mother said, look, okay, we'll find some money out the cookie jar, get you in this class and pay for this and try to get you to do that. She would always come. She came to every show. She never missed a show.
I mean, you were kind of like one in a million that at your age you wanted to be an actor and you were studying at that age.
Yes, my sister was a medical technologist. My brother was an accountant. My other sister was a pharmacist. Nobody in my family came from that. My mother was a teacher, educator. My dad was a freight worker. So nobody in my family was in show business. So for me, that was a little strange. But she said, that's what you really want to do? We'll give you 4 years of college, and after that, you're on your own. But she would always sneak and support me if I couldn't pay my rent or whatever. And she just kept saying, this is what you want to do. That's what you should do.
God called you to it.
Yes.
Everybody knows Jeremy from Growing Pains, but now you're also a celebrity chef.
Yes, I kind of grew up cooking. My grandmother was a chef and she had a restaurant. So on the hiatuses during the summer when we weren't filming, I would go up to her restaurant, stay with her for the summer, and I worked there. So I learned my passion from her.
That's amazing. So what did she teach you how to cook?
Well, she had a little small Mexican-American restaurant. We have no Latin in our blood whatsoever, but we grew up in East LA area, and all her friends were these little old Latin American ladies who taught her all their great recipes. So she was a wonderful chef anyway, and she loved to share her food with the community. So she opened a restaurant, and I learned to cook that first, but I was also raised cooking Cajun and Creole and Southern. That's kind of my roots.
And my mom had a cooking show, and she always made us guacamole, and I just thought guacamole, that's what I ate, but I guess it's not from my heritage, that it's more Mexican than, Swiss German.
If you love it and you learn to cook it right, it doesn't matter if it's in your heritage. When I'm cooking Italian, I honestly have to have some like opera on or The Godfather on in the background. Back when I did drink a little glass of wine when I was cooking, had to. That Italian feel just gets into you. I don't have any Italian in me, but it does.
How did Growing Pains change your life?
Growing Pains gave me more opportunities than I can even imagine. The opportunity to be a part of so many people's lives. 30 plus years later, and through social media or meeting people on the street, people still want to talk about a specific moment on the show that touched them or affected them, or growing up with us and they felt that, we were the brothers and sisters they didn't have, and things like that. To be a part of that and to still have people remember after all these years is very special.
Do you remember the day you got the part?
I do actually remember getting the part. My agent had a thing where she would ring the bell. She would call you and just have a bell ringing in the background. And I was with my grandmother and my mother, and we just kind of went crazy, and we all went to Dairy Queen for banana splits to celebrate.
Nice, very gourmet.
It was a kid treat that I loved, and it was just a little thing to celebrate with my family, who've always been the closest people to me.
Who taught you how to act at that age?
Honestly, at that age, it wasn't so much about the skill of acting. It was more about being a kid and being able to be natural on camera. And I was not shy. If you can't tell, I don't shut up. And that just was always that way. I was the kid at the party up on the pool table telling stories and stuff. So that translated on screen. Over the years, I kind of watched and learned from Alan, from Joanna, from the people in my lives that I was blessed to work with. Over the years, I got to work with many, many brilliant comedians, Harvey Korman, Raul Julia, just amazing people. And, you watch, you learn, and you try and pick up anything you can.
What did you watch? What did you learn?
What I learned from them was trying to, from Alan, I learned to overact without overacting. Alan was the consummate sitcom actor who could give you that over-the-top emotion anytime, that slapstick humor and stuff like that. People like Raul Julia, I learned the professionalism and just to be natural and to let your real emotion come through. So those are the kind of things I was blessed to be able to pick up from some amazing professionals.
Now, I love this. This is gorgeous. You look so dapper.
Thank you very much. Well, there's a red carpet on the carpet beneath my feet, so I thought I'd put a red carpet on my body as well.
Yes. And what brings you here tonight?
Well, obviously, we're here to celebrate the Oscars and all of the brilliant work that's been done throughout the year.
What has been your favorite acting gig that you've done?
That's a very difficult question. That's almost like asking me which one of my children I love the best, because each one of the characters that I have done in this 48-year career, it has been an honor to breathe life into people. My intention is always to represent fully realized human beings. So whether it's been on the soap opera, which I just won the Emmy for Bold and the Beautiful.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Or whether it's, going back to movies like the original Silence of the Lambs or Philadelphia or Miss Evers Boys, all of the different television.
You are something else.
A 48-year career and still active. I'm still honored to be here.
What do you attribute your longevity to?
You know something? It has to do with I believe. I have a motto. It is your do is not necessarily your who. And by that I mean, your do is how you affect change in your life, but your who is how you affect change in someone else's life. And I've dedicated myself to representing myself and others as fully realized human beings who live and breathe and care. And that, I think, has been able to afford me to have the longevity. I've also studied my career and my craft as a means by which it is important, I believe, to be able to, when you're representing someone as a fully realized human being, you can touch someone's life.
Greatest advice that you could give anyone that has really helped you in your career?
One of the things when people say, Obba, what is the advice you would give? And I say, remember this. They cannot take from you what they did not give to you. Your gifts and your talents you were blessed with, and you can hone those talents, and that way no one can ever take that from you.
Has faith played a role in your life?
Fate or faith?
Faith.
Faith, and absolutely, because see, faith is a belief. Faith is not a doctrine, and so we get separated by these doctrines. We should be united by the doctrines. But faith is a belief. If you believe that you can, you can. If you believe that you can't, you're also correct. So which one do you choose?
Faith. I have the lovely Academy Award nominated Terry Moore. She is a legend, but she's my friend and just the sweetest person ever. We love you, Terry.
Oh, Gemma, thank you. You're so beautiful.
You're so beautiful. Terry, you're 90 years old and you still exercise, and you are an example to me to get out and exercise.
Oh, yes. You got to exercise and you got to go easy on the booze.
You don't drink or smoke, do you?
No. Or don't even drink coffee.
Not necessarily.
And that's how you keep your good looks.
Out all the time.
Well, you're a star inside and out. What an amazing day. We met so many celebrities. They had so many great things to say. A lot of them talked about persevering, not giving up. There are ups and there are downs, but just keep on going. And one even talked about trust. We have to trust God, trust our gifts, our talents, have confidence in where we want to go, and know that God will lead us. So thank you so much for tuning in to Gemma Wenger's Hollywood.